Alright, hey, thanks for tuning back in, everybody. Over here at hive number 3. This is going to be a routine inspection. Oh yeah, we got some bees up in the top box. Which is what you want to see. So I'll give them some smoke, like usual. Yeah, so routine inspection. Also, just checking for swarm cells since it's swarm season. And I got this pretty cool tool, which I'm going to use to equally space out the traditional, I think this is a shallow actually, traditional honey super, but then last week I reduced the colonies down to a single brood box, so the deep here, which used to be a brood chamber, is now acting as a honey super, and I also reduced that from 10 frames to 9, so it'll give me a chance to put my spacer in both boxes. So if my memory serves me right, and some people will probably tell me I need to start making some notes, keeping a logbook, or some folks just write on the telescoping cover what happened last time. If my memory serves me right, this colony had a frame, which I marked with my trusty pen here, a true queen cell that hatched out. So that was last week for sure, and in between, so it's been 7 full days, it's been a full week, which is what I'm going to transition to. I was coming out here more 10 to 14 days, more closer to 2 weeks, and I think that backfired a few times. I had some hives swarm on me, so then I adjusted to 5 days, and I think that was just too frequently messing with the bees or disrupting them really. So I've switched over, made up my mind to switch over to 7 days. So I'm just going to be out here on Sundays, which, what not a better way to spend your Sunday mornings, right? In the bee yard. So anyway, they had a queen cell hatch out, so it's been a week, 15, so it may be close to between 15 and 20 days since she hatched out, so plenty of time to mate, return, and start laying some eggs, which that's what I'm checking for, other than swarm cells. So we'll see how this goes. They were queenless for a little bit, I believe, and they should be, hopefully, they should have recovered by now. Alright, that's enough of that. Me yapping. So that's definitely what you want to see. That's a nice sign. Whole bunch more bees up in the super. So if you watch my previous videos, I was mentioning this for a little bit. I was getting discouraged because it was a warm winter, like usual, kinda. It was an early spring, thinking, things are just gonna take off, bloom. Bees are gonna be bringing in a ton of nectar, which, I mean, they started to. But what I'm alluding to is, we'd have this bountiful honey harvest, which, yeah, this is a shallow, which, as you know, isn't always the case. But my buddy was telling me, don't get discouraged. You can't really expect things to get going until late April, which is the time we're in now. So he mentioned April 21st, last week of April is basically what he was getting at. So now that we're there, things are looking better. Weather's definitely cooperating a whole bunch more. Things are starting to look a lot better. So I have a few frames in here. As you can see, you're kind of like that. So I'm really just trying to pick the best of the two, which I believe is this first one I pulled out, because this one's just, they'd have to expend too many resources to get that going. So I'm just going to drop that in there. Use my frame spacer and my hive tool to get everything spaced out nicely. Yeah, I need to clean this thing off. It is annoying because it keeps sticking to my glove. Fingers are sticking together. Alright. Oh yeah, I'll show you a few things here. Oh, the bees. They just impress me sometimes. Not every frame is good, but when you have a few nice frames, it's nice to see, that's for sure. Wrong way. Yeah, $10 on Amazon if you just type in frame spacer. Maybe use beekeeping, beekeeper, honey frame spacer, something like that. Yeah, pretty good tool. Wait until I show you some of this. Like I was saying, things can change week to week and change quickly. But check that out. They are bringing in some really nice nectar and curing it to honey. And we are in late April, so it's still relatively early for them to be doing so. Yes, that's what you want to see. Oh man, the one next to it's even better. Not that you saw the last one because I didn't really show you. Yeah, check that out. Oh, there's an opportunity to taste it, and I'm going to, but I'm gonna have to walk away. That tastes fantastic. And the only reason I walked away is because lately, for some reason, if I get stung, I'm having a little worse reactions to stings than I used to. So, nobody really looks forward to getting stung, but if you know you're starting to react not in the best way, I think you start looking forward to it a little less. Let's get into hive number 3, finally. I'm done messing around. Alright, honey super, at least the top one's looking pretty good. Looking forward to seeing what the bottom one looks like. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let's see. I don't want to mess with them too much, but at the same time, you know, you want to see how they're doing. And there is some brood up here, so let's just double check. There's some brood hatching out. I don't see any eggs just yet, which is actually what you want to see, since moving it into the above the queen excluder. Okay. So far, so good. One frame into it. It's pretty. Nice new wax up at the top there. Running 9 frames does make them easier to pull out. They're definitely not as tight together, which is a change. A big old drone in the top box. He won't be able to get, where'd he go? He won't be able to get below the queen excluder, so he's just up here snacking away. Pull a few more frames. Probably staring at my back at this point. Just to check See if they're storing some nectar. That's a nice frame of nectar. So is that side? Oh. Huh. That's interesting. You never know what you'll find. So there's a capped queen cell right there. So... oh man, I might put this... hive number 2 wasn't looking too good. I might set this over in hive 2. So I gave them a frame of eggs from hive number 1. Because it looks like they were queenless for a while. If my memory serves me right, I caged the queen on that colony last week, but she looked pretty small. And my suspicions were that she was a virgin queen. And then this week, doesn't look like they're doing that great. There's a small patch of eggs, which is why I moved a frame of eggs over from hive 1. So in addition to that, I think I'm going to slide that. Yeah, I think I'm going to slide that frame over there too to give them a boost. But first, I just need to check the bottom box here. Make sure this hive is queen right, because yeah, given the amount of time, that queen should be back by now, have mated and start laying some eggs. Let me just double check this frame, this old dark comb. That is just really difficult to see eggs in, but yeah, that's all nectar. All right, so that's what I want to see, because this box is above the queen excluder. Alright, so no big deal. Let's see, use the frame spacer again just to get everything spaced, and then actually, you know what, this frame's got a ton of weight to it. That frame's pretty light. There we go. That makes a little more sense. And then I'm going to move that frame, well, I got it on standby really. So if the bottom box, the brood chamber, isn't looking all that great, here, I'll slide that one into the bottom box. But if the bottom box is looking good, and it looks like the queen made it, and she's laying eggs like crazy, I'm going to take that frame and drop it into either hive 2, but I also need to see how hive 4 is looking, so I'm starting to get ahead of myself. Let's see how this one looks first. That seems like a good starting point. Check the colony you're actually looking at first before making plans for the other colonies. Alright. I definitely like the metal queen excluders better because they're rigid, unlike the plastic ones, and you can pop them up without disturbing too many of the bees. Alright, man, been out here for a little bit, starting to get tired. Yeah, I've had a few people ask on social media, of course, how often am I inspecting the bees. I said it a few times, I really only come out weekly. It's probably a better angle. But I've been breaking the videos down. So now it's one video per colony. It basically makes the videos a lot shorter, which might promote people to watch them more often, but it also gives me it's also easier for me to look back on inspections. So if I have a question about, say, I don't know, hive number 1, I can just look at hive number 1's inspection videos instead of having to go week by week and scroll through a pretty long inspection video. Alright, so really want to start seeing some eggs. That would be pretty cool. And this is frame, what, 2? So, outside frame, you know, typically don't expect to see too many eggs, but as we move a little closer, hopefully that changes a good deal. So that's from the top box. We're on the X, so this is frame 4. Alright, well, I can't remember which one, but one of these colonies was definitely tricking me because it had spun larvae, pupated larvae, which this frame has on this side, which is why I'm talking about it. Alright, there's some eggs. Let's see. Definitely need to see more than one. Some pupated larvae all throughout. That's great. Show me the eggs. That's what I want to see. There's one there. Pupated larva. Okay. Very spotty egg pattern on that side. And this side is a lot of food. There's like a pupated. Oh man, this is the sun is not helping. Maybe it's not the best frame. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. So that's frame 4. Just show me a frame full of eggs. That's all I want to see. That's a whole bunch of food. And that's a whole bunch of food too. Okay. Alright. This is one of the colonies that was kind of tripping me up because they had brood. Let me start on this side. They had brood. They had pupated larvae. I just need to see more eggs to feel good about this colony surviving, really. You'd think you wouldn't have to look this hard. Oh man, oops. Don't drop a frame. It's not fun. Not the best, is what I'm saying. But we still have a few frames to go. A few frames to go. And I do have a frame from the top box that has a fully capped queen cell. Alright, so this frame has a lot of open cells, which could have eggs. Okay. Alright, here we go. So we're on what? 10, 9, 8, 7. Yes. They are queen right. Wow. Very nice. Very nice wet cells. Eggs. Alright, I feel better. And then this side, let's see. Eggs popping out. Nice wet cells with pupated larvae in it. Which is what you want to see. That means they're getting all the nutrition they need. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. Kind of curious what's going on there while the bees are clustered up on the bottom here. You'd be surprised if you don't break them up sometimes to see what they're doing. That amount of bees was covering a swarm cell in a previous inspection. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, frame 6 and 7 started to have some eggs on it. I imagine it'll get better, hopefully, if this hive trends like hives have trended in the past, and as I move towards frames 6 through 10, typically start seeing more eggs and more brood. Let's check this side. There's the queen right there. She's going to the other side. Where's she at? Right there. There we go. Right there, crawling on the frame. They look pretty good. She looks like she has nicely made it. Alright, let me get this thing closed up. Right there, one more look at her. Okay. I am done. They are queen right for sure. She's favoring the left side of the colony, which is just fine. So now I know she's in the bottom box. They are good. As far as the frames full of food, that may have been from their queenless time and they just need to reallocate the food to the top box. So now that I know they're queen right, because I saw the queen, I can basically make a decision what I do with this frame now that has a developed swarm cell. So I do have a hive that has been struggling. I need to look at them first and then figure out a way forward for that frame. That is awesome. That was one of the supersedral cells that hatched out, which is exactly what you want to happen. Alright, I'm just going to close them up for now so they can kind of settle down a little bit. And I just need to take a look at another colony and see if they can use a queen cell. Check it out. The usual aftermath of an inspection. That's what the front entrance looks like. Please share in your comments if you experience the same. And look at that pollen. Look at that, how nice bright orange that is. And then the bees bringing in some that got knocked off in other bees' pollen baskets. Bringing some in. Alright, hey, thanks for watching everybody. A little longer of a video, but trying to take my time. So that was Hive 3, 100% queen right, which is fantastic. I've been kind of concerned with them because I had some swarm cells or supersedral cells. I'd have to look back in a previous video to remember, but it looks like one of them hatched out, made it, returned, and she's slowly starting to build up, rebuild the colony. So we'll check back next week. By then, I anticipate seeing plenty of frames of eggs and some capped brood, and hopefully they build up enough of a foraging army to collect nectar and cure it into honey so we can harvest it in July. Thanks for watching Cole's Farm, everybody, here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. This is just my backyard beekeeping journey. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications for future videos. Tune in next week and we'll take a look at hive number 3 and see if the queens started to lay more eggs. Alright, until next time. Just another quick look at the hive entrance. They'll settle down in about maybe 10 minutes, 10-20 minutes, things will be back to normal.